What's going on, everybody? It's Q Jackson, host of BLK Talk. Look, I was over here preparing for another amazing episode, but look, I need you guys to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, the like button, and the notification bell so that you guys don't miss any of our amazing conversations. Have a new episode coming to you in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, everybody? It's Q Jackson, host of BLK Talk. And yes, I'm back with another amazing episode. And yes, I'm back with a more amazing guest. No, I don't like that intro. So we're gonna do that again. See, this is the benefit of doing it on your own.
Yeah, nah, good.
Mm-hmm. What's going on, everybody? It's Q Jackson, host of BLK Talk. Yes, I'm back with another amazing episode and an amazing guest from the East Coast to the West Coast and now down south. Mr. Emir Horton has come to join us today, and I'm real excited. Y'all should know why if you guys paid attention to my article with the Quintessential Gentleman back in, I think, 2021.
Yeah.
2020, it was two of them. I know it was a gift guide, and I know there was like a full feature. Now we actually get to have the conversation in person about everything that's been going on. So guys, welcome to the show, Emir Horton.
Thank you.
What's going on, my brother?
I'm well, man. Thank you. So excited to be here. Thank you again for extending the platform. This is a dope platform, man. So thank you for having me.
I appreciate that. I thank you for being here. So let's get into it. You recently made another major transition in your life.
I did.
And now you're part of the down south crew. What's up?
Did. Never thought I'd be in the South. I used to come to the South, specifically North Carolina, a lot from our family reunions. I had a lot of family in North Carolina, and I hated it. Like as a kid, I hated the country.
Why?
It was boring. It was like nothing but trees, no sidewalks, no street lights. At least in North Carolina, like certain parts of North Carolina. I didn't like it, but I loved the food.
Yeah,
always loved the food. So I never thought that I would be living here in Georgia. But you know, as you grow, your taste for things change, your perspective on life change, and your environment is everything. So it was time.
Okay.
Time to be here.
So, born and raised in Philly.
Yep.
Then you transitioned to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And now you're here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that journey. Like, what prompted you to move from Philly to LA?
Mm-hmm.
And then while you were in LA, some of the things you learned, experienced, and forced you to become a Southerner.
Well, what forced me to go to LA is really the same reason that made me move to Atlanta. I just wanted more. In Philly, you know, I was tired of being on my mom's couch. I had a whole college degree at the time. Well, still have a college degree, but fresh out of college, in the hood at my mom's crib, and seeing the same thing, same dudes on the corners, smoking weed, not doing nothing with their life. And I'm like, yo, like I cannot be here anymore. Like I just spent 5 years on this degree. I need to get to California. I know what I want to do with my life. We need to just figure it out and make it happen. And so that is what really forced me to move, to just up and leave. I wasn't getting a job in Philly in the industry, like in the news industry world rather. And I'm like, yo, we just want to go. We're just going to go figure it out. And so that was the influence behind it, was just being sick and tired of being in an environment that really wasn't fostering what I knew was inside of me and what I had spent so much time on through college nurturing and so many years dreaming about it, you know. And so that's why I led to LA. And my time in LA, I spent 4.5 years there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the growth, I feel like LA was the training grounds for a lot of things, like the spiritual growth, the personal development, the professional development. It's like in every area within 4.5 years, my life was changed. And so Los Angeles and Hollywood is the reason why I became an entrepreneur. I was forced into entrepreneurship, accepting low pay cuts, not really making money in the entertainment industry, having to pay your dues and prove your worth to people to get paid what you want. And that is what pushed me into entrepreneurship, which was always inside of me, but I didn't identify it until, you know, Los Angeles forced me to identify it, you know. And so as I stepped more into entrepreneurship as a black CEO and a black founder, not just in watches, but even in television, I'm like, I have to be in a space that facilitates that side of me, that inspires me to want to create, to be an entrepreneur. And so Atlanta popped up on my radar around this time, actually last year. And I'm like, yo, what is it about Atlanta that I just feel so drawn to? Because I've never been here before. My first time here was like in March recently. Wow. And it was less than 48 hours I was here. And, you know, I started praying. I said, God, if you're telling me, this was around like December-ish. I said, God, if you're leading me to Atlanta, I need an opportunity to go to Atlanta. So I'm not just want to go. I need something that would make me want to go to visit. And something came up in March. An opportunity came up in March, and like a week before is when I got confirmation. I'm calling you to Atlanta, Georgia. And I got here and immediately fell in love with it in a short period of time. And I'm like, all right, now we just need to figure this out. We figured it out before when we moved to LA. Now we need to do the same thing. We moved to Atlanta, and you know, I don't need to see the whole picture yet, but at least take that first step. And I think Atlanta is very promising. We was having a conversation earlier about like balance and growth. The trees around here and the color green I have been like very attracted to lately. And I think that's what it is. It's like I'm finally at a space where I have balance and growth in every single area of my life.
So. Now I'm listening, and yes, guys, I am pulling out my phone, and there's a reason. I'm going to Google something real quick because now I want to know. You're mentioning the color green. Now I know for me, we were talking about like my changes that occurred this year, and what I realized is orange was my color. Orange was the color of the chapter that I would be going into. Creativity, change, all that other stuff. So let's see. The color green symbolizes peace and tranquility, as well as hope, harmony, and optimism. So you're in your green phase.
Yeah, I'm in my green phase, for sure. And I felt so liberated the moment I stepped off that plane when I got here, when I landed here. It just like this huge weight just lifted. And I'm like, yo, what exactly is it? And it's because your environment is everything. You know, like I'm finally in a space that truly inspires me as a black entrepreneur, as a black leader. And I get everything here. I get Hollywood here. I get entrepreneurship here. The food is great here.
I told him if he don't slow down on that food, he gonna gain that 20 in the first 3 months.
Yeah, I think I gained it the first 3 weeks, and this is my third week being here. So but you know, Atlanta's looking very promising. You know, I see myself settling down here. I see myself finding my wife here, having kids. I don't see myself leaving. My mom wants to move down here.
Really? So is she still in Philly?
Yeah, but she's been talking about moving here for years. Like since I graduated high school, she's always wanted to be in Georgia. So yeah.
Ma, if you're watching, come on down. There's space. Yeah. We got you. Come on home.
Yeah.
So. Okay. Well, welcome to Atlanta.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to seeing everything that you're accomplishing, or you will accomplish, because based off the conversations, I mean, you have an amazing product. So, guys, there we go, right there. Yes, it's up. So y'all get you one of these, okay? This Eartha watch is amazing. The story behind it is even more amazing. The person who created it is amazing. So, you know, we believe in support. So make sure you guys support. So speaking of it, tell us about Eartha, where you started it from and where you are now, and like I guess where you hope to go with the brand.
So the inception of Eartha, really, like I said, it was birthed out of a need, really. You know, in 2019, when I moved to LA 2018, I experienced a form of homelessness, sleeping in friends' couches, bouncing from house to house every month through Airbnbs, sitting on curbs, not knowing where I was wanting to sleep at night, and was working a job at a major studio lot that was not paying me anything to really survive. And so when I found stability, I said, you know what, we need to think of some other things. We need to be more strategic with our time. And that meant we can no longer solely depend on this one form of income coming from Hollywood. And so I thought about everything I was interested in, my passions and my skills, and that's when watches came to mind, which I've always wanted my own collection, but it was in the form of partnering with a high-end brand. Once I become a household name for my work in entertainment, and I said, you know what? Why do that? Why allow a brand to get even more wealthier off of my creativity, off of my innovation?
Mm-hmm.
They don't market to people who look like me, although we're the amplification for their brands. They don't even support the communities that I come from.
Mm.
So why allow them to do? Why give them that that opportunity? And I said, I don't know how to start a luxury watch company, but we're going to figure it out. That's what we're going to do. Went to Google, went to YouTube University, and was like, first thing that came to my mind is how you build a luxury watch. I didn't know anything about business. I didn't know anything about manufacturers. I just said, this is what we want to do, and I'm just going to figure it out. Mm-hmm. And so through learning, through researching, through having conversations with people in LA and other people, from different markets that I know, this was the product here, So I designed the pieces myself, and I'm going to always remain designing these pieces myself. There's a lot of intentionality behind the craftsmanship, behind the designs, the style of it, the sleekness, all of that. And what's crazy is that I wasn't calling Eartha luxury at first. My customers were calling it luxury. And I said, like now I'm beginning to see that luxury is really subjective. And my whole mindset behind it was, I was thinking like time is luxury. Like that was the intention behind the message that I wanted to give behind the brand. Like time is luxury, we all have access to it. And also my customers started calling my products luxury. I'm like, okay, that just changed my entire perspective of my brand and the mission and the vision that it has, So yeah, we're two years old, about to going on 3 years old in September 1st, which was the anniversary date of moving to LA. Already won an award, so it's an award-winning company. Okay. Had product people overseas wearing the product, South Africa. So many people sent emails and DMs trying to be brand ambassadors from all over the country. And it's just a crazy thing. Like it's making my wildest dreams come true. And it's like, it's crazy because I'm like, I never thought I would have a luxury watch company, although I always wanted my own collection. It just came in a different form. And this is what God always intended for me to have. So
that's crazy because having the conversation over 2 years ago, and I hear the growth in the conversation and the vision behind the brand. Now, how does that feel to know that something that came to you, an idea, a vision that you were blessed with, is now blessing other people?
That gives me a greater sense of purpose, to be honest, because it's not just a watch. Like it's a mission. Like our tagline is connecting time to the mission. And the mission, my personal mission, is to birth something in my bloodline, like across the board, spiritually, mentally, financially, professionally, all those things. And Eartha is not only allowing me to accomplish my mission in life, but it's inspiring other people to accomplish their mission in life and being more intentional with their time to do it. And so I don't see any other brand like Eartha, and this is not to sound prideful or anything, but when I see the messages from people who say, "Yo, bro, you inspire me so much, like keep going, and you're the first Black entrepreneur in the watch industry that I know," I'm like, yo, like that is inspiration for people to really tap into what they're trying to tap into, So it's bigger than a watch company. It's going to be multi-dimensional. So watches is not going to be the end all be all. I see cross collaborations across different other industries. I see other. I don't even want to share too much what I see, but it's going to echo around this world. Like the impact and the influence of Eartha is going to echo around this entire globe, and it already has. So that is fulfilling to me.
So to hear somebody say that you're the first Black-owned watch company that like they're familiar with, although we know that there are quite a few out there, that means that you are putting yourself out there. That means that to you and to other people, representation is a very important thing. So that means people are watching you, people are paying attention. So for you, having representation, being somebody that is representing something that people are looking at, do you feel pressure?
I feel pressure to not share certain things because I know people are watching.
Okay.
And like that's personal and professional. So I didn't even share that I was moving to Atlanta because I just had a feeling that people were going to be so invested. And I think people have always been invested in my life since I was a child. But now that they seen the headlines, they seen the articles, they seen Hollywood, they seen the watch company. I have so many eyeballs on me, so I feel the pressure to not share certain things and be very intentional with what I do share. But as far as the pressure that people are looking up to me as a role model, nah, I don't feel that. I don't feel that.
You ready?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like this is what I was sitting here to do. And when you think about just the Black male community and where we are right now, it's not really sitting too well with me. And, so it's like if I can continue to show the positive side of what we represent, just maybe it can transform somebody else's life just because they see me doing what I'm doing, So as long as I'm being impactful, I don't have time to be worrying about pressure, what people idolize me. I don't want nobody to idolize me. But as far as looking up to me as a role model, it is what it is.
So when you become a role model, you, I guess, unintentionally take on a role in people's lives, in the world. And with that being said, people are looking up to you. So with you being intentional about some of the things you share, when it comes to vulnerability, as a business owner, as a Black man, there are some things that you've shared on social media at different times. Why do you feel those things were important to share?
Because social media is a highlight reel. And I said, I will feel like I will be doing the people who do look up to me a disservice if I'm not showing the vulnerability, which is uncomfortable, but it's necessary because I don't want anybody to think that the success has happened overnight. I don't want anybody to think that this was given to me. Like it takes a lot of hard work. There are a lot of tears that are cried at night. When nobody's watching, there's a lot of development and tearing that is going on. And I want people to really see those things because, that is what has allowed me to succeed. That's why people are so drawn and attracted to me. It's because I'm authentic and I show up however, the full me. However I'm feeling at that moment, if I feel led to share it, I'm going to share it. And you're going to get 100% of it. If not, then I'll just hold it to myself and I'll release it when and if I want to release it. But I think it's necessary because people, like I said, people need to see it, So in those moments, it's just like I have to release myself and remind myself that this is not even about me. Like this entire life is not about me. It's about the person on the other side of that camera, on the other side of those sound waves, for them to really tap into their God-given potential and their purpose. And so it's like I don't have time to be thinking, oh man, like I don't want to be vulnerable. I don't want to share the hardships and the challenges. And it's like, bro, like you're really going through this for other people to get through what they're going through, So that's why I started sharing a journey about, yes, I was homeless. Yes, I drank water for dinner. And yes, I didn't know where I was going to lay my head at night at times. And so many other things in between. But it's necessary because it shows that we're human and nobody's perfect.
I love it. See, I had that very conversation with myself a number of years ago, maybe 5-6 years ago. There were things that I was wondering, why am I going through this? Why am I experiencing this? But then there would be people that would come into my life that I would end up having to share certain aspects of my journey with. And although it was a very uncomfortable thing, I saw how the things that I had experienced and how I overcame certain things, and the way that I was able to share that with somebody, I saw how it helped to kind of transform them. And that's when I realized, you know, I'm having a talk with God, Buddha, the higher power, whatever you guys like to call it. You know, I'm having a conversation, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm not living life for me. I'm living life for everybody that I'm going to have to encounter.
Right.
Because I'm going to have to share a story.
Right.
So, you know, that when you realize that, you start to understand your purpose in this world. And it doesn't feel like hard work. It's now heart work.
Right.
Because, you know, you're doing it out of a place of authenticity and love.
Right.
So, you decided, after you moved from Philly to Los Angeles, you decided to take some of your experiences back home and do some things for your people.
Yes.
So for you, why was it important? And then I got some questions, because there are two things that I need to know about Philly. Why did you feel it was important to go back home and give back to home?
That home is home. There's no place like home. I think Prophetess Dorothy said that, or something like that. It's no place like home. And for one, everything that I know or have known is home in Philly. My school, my family, my childhood friends, the same people who I spoke of earlier who ain't doing nothing with their lives. You know, home is Philly. If it wasn't for my Philly experience, I wouldn't be who I am today. That's a fact. And so it's impossible for me to reach a certain level of success and status and influence and all those things and forget what's back there. Now, there are some things that I have forgotten, because there's some things that just need to stay in the past. But as far as my city, I know that there's another Emir Horton in Philadelphia who's looking for someone to reach back and help him, you know? And so that's why I go back home. That's why I'm always thinking about what can I do to help. I'm always reading, watching the news when I can. I keep my ears to the streets from a distance to hear what's going on. Because I know that there's another boy and man and woman and girl out there too who just looking for a breakthrough. And if I have the mindset and the resources or relationships to be able to provide an opportunity, I'm going to present it to them, and it's up to them whether or not they can execute it or whatever. But as long as I'm putting them in position to at least win, then I'm winning, you know. And so that's why I always, you know, just thinking of what can I do for my city, because Philly right now is tough. It's very tough. Like 2021, I think, was our worst year. I mean, 21 was our worst year as far as homicides. And so, and it's really not even getting any better, in my opinion. And the leadership, as far as politics, is not what it's supposed to be. A lot of greed and ego in place. Nobody wants to talk, and nobody wants to listen to each other. So it's just a lot going on. And I'm like, for me as a leader, it's important for me to just go back and bring my own resources.
You might end up going back and becoming the mayor.
Nah, I ain't doing all that. I'm not doing that. But I am stepping into like social impact.
Okay.
And that is another reason, you know, that influenced me to move here to Atlanta. Also, I have a desire to marry luxury and television with social impact. And yeah, so I don't think like politics and all that, no, but I just want to serve that in a way that is authentic to me, that doesn't really involve the politics. Yeah. Because I don't got that type of time.
Right. So if I ever make my way to Philly, I need to know what's coming out of people's mouths. Okay, and I need to know what I'm spitting out of my mouth. What is a bull? What is a John?
Well, a bull, like a young boy, what we call it, a young bull.
Oh.
That's what that is. Yeah. A young bull. Yeah. A John is a person, place, or thing.
Oh.
Yeah. All of the above.
Yeah. Okay. Now, can a non-Philly person use that and it hit the same?
They could, but we're gonna immediately know you're not from Philly because of the way you said it. So some people say John, and like it sounds forced a lot of times when people who are not from Philly, like we see it in television too. It's like, yo, like y'all forcing it, you know. So it's like we say John so naturally, so we're able to identify when somebody's just saying it just to say it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so
That is funny. I wanted to know that for years, but I could never bring myself to ask. But then I also couldn't bring myself to say it. Like I've heard so many people around me. There are quite a few people that I know here in Atlanta that are from Philly, and I hear it so many times.
Yeah.
I just, I didn't know how to insert it. So thank you for that lesson.
Yeah.
The more you know.
Right. Every day.
So you're here in Atlanta now, but before you left California, there was the actor strike. Was the writer strike,
Yeah.
and now the actor strike. Now I don't know if you can talk about that, but like, did that affect you, and like, how is it affecting like people that you were connected with?
It's crazy. It had an indirectly effect to me, and I say indirectly because I'm not a part of the union yet, the Writers Guild or the SAG union for actors. But it indirectly affected me because now there's no productions going on at all. So whether or not if I was in the union or not, there's nothing happening. So it is affecting camera people. It's affecting grips, lighting, catering. Like everyone is impacted by this. And what's crazy is that I read an article saying that Los Angeles alone, the Los Angeles economy, is being impacted by this. Like they're losing millions by the day because of the writer's strike. And now that you had the actors on strike too, it's not looking good. And I felt it in my spirit. I felt like something was happening, like something was coming to Los Angeles. And now I see that like that's what it is. They're losing so much money. And so it's like it's not even just directing people who are in entertainment, it's directing everybody in that region, like the state of California too. So it's a big deal. But it's necessary. It's so necessary.
So it's coming down from, what is it, the studios and stuff like that don't want to pay.
Exactly.
And it's like what, 5% or something like that they're trying to get. So,
yeah, it's something ridiculous
that you wouldn't think is a lot of money.
Yeah, no, it's when you think about the amount of money that they make in comparison to the people who are spending 12-hour days on sets, there's some new conversations that need to be had, especially when it comes to streaming. We don't get paid residuals from streaming. There's not really a way to so that's what the argument is really over. It's over residuals. When you think of linear television, there's a way to track like how many times this show aired on television that would then determine how much money you're getting in residuals. There's nothing in place to track that with your Netflixes and your HBO Maxes and Disney Plus, like all those streaming sites. So that's what the argument is. We're trying to establish a new contract so that we can protect ourselves and actually make money off of what we enjoy to do. You know what I'm saying? And then they're trying to replace actors and writers, the entire industry really, with artificial intelligence. They're using technology to create characters with actors who are not physically involved with the project, which is problematic too. And so, all it is greed. That's what it boils down to. It's greed and power.
That is a shame because this has been going on now. I know the writer strike for more than 3 months.
Yeah, about 3 months.
And the actors recently joined, but they were saying like that. I guess the actors hadn't had a strike since like 1960.
Well, that was the last time when the writers and the actors both were on strike at the same time. Yeah. So, which is a big deal.
So, with you and the entertainment space, aside from like what's going on with the writers and the actors strike, like what is it that you see yourself doing in that space? What do you want to accomplish?
So I am launching my production company a lot sooner than I anticipated to. I already have 2 scripts in my arsenal. 2 feature films. I have 1 unscripted TV show. Podcast is on the way. Yeah, podcast is on the way, and so that's what I'm doing. And I need my people, when you see the independent stuff, to come out and support. But this is wise because I'm like, I can't allow my ability to make money being tied up in the hands of other people, because just like that, it can be snatched away from you. And so that's what my plans are. And again, Atlanta, like the perfect time to be here is right now, as I'm stepping more into entrepreneurship. You know, because I'm like, I can't. Hollywood, y'all be having too much going on, and they have been having a lot going on for a long time. But now it's just like you just get sick and tired of being sick and tired of people and their greed and their power and the necessity just to have a dollar, and
that you can't spend all of, by the
right.
way.
And you can't take it with you when you leave this earth, and so that's what my plans are. I don't know about everybody else, but I know as for me, that's what I'm working on, is my own stuff.
Okay. Now, as far as Eartha goes, where do you see the brand? Are there any things in Atlanta that you're planning for the brand?
Definitely collaborating with other watch companies. Yeah, I would love to do that. But other industries who are, replicate what Eartha will be stand for. We had a conversation earlier, you can't wear a suit without a watch.
That's
It's not a full outfit. So definitely other apparel companies, fragrances, shoe companies, hat companies, the whole thing. But in addition to not just the fashion, but there's, like I said, there are other industries that I want to tap into. I see when I see people like Pinky Cole, like that's one of my mentors.
Yeah.
Had opportunity to meet her twice, have conversations with her and Derek Hayes. And
one of your
see,
fellow Philadelphians.
Yes, sir. It's like my big bro, my big sis. And so when I see them doing things like Pinky and Slutty Vegan, having a shoe with Steve Madden, I'm like, that's the type of stuff that inspires me. It's like the sky's the limit with what I can do with Eartha by Emir. It's like I can tap into anything, and I really believe that I can do anything. And so there are some other billion-dollar industries that I plan to tap into to do licensing deals and cross collaborations and all those things. And so the sky's the limit, and I'm really excited for it. So. Right now, the focus, because I've been sold out since I think November.
Wow.
This collection, So, still bootstrapping it and working towards getting our next inventory and production. And once that gets going, is when we're about to start diversifying the revenue streams and build this into an empire.
Yes. Now, look. In the meantime, tell people where, although. You said you sold out, but the inventory is coming, guys. The inventory is coming. Let people know where they can find the watches, but most importantly, let people know where they can find you and everything that you have coming up.
But you can find me at Emir Horton, EmirHorton on Instagram. Eartha by Emir is EarthaByEmir. The tag is also in my Instagram bio. You can find Eartha at earthawatches.com. I highly encourage you guys to subscribe to our email list because, bro, the demand for the next collection and restocks is very high. And our community is going to be the first to know about all things Eartha. And we'll have first access to it. So if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to our email list so you can be the first to know. And it's crazy because this collection, I wasn't going to bring it back. I really wasn't. It was going to be a limited edition.
Really?
But the demand, like people really want it. So I said, all right, I'm going to do it. My manufacturer is trying to convince me to do like a generation 2 of this demand because we're moving forward with a new manufacturer in LA. Super excited about that. The quality is 10 times better.
The quality of what I have is great. Just imagine 10 times better than great.
Yeah, right. No, it's saving me a lot of money as far as production costs and inventory, and still keeping things in house as far as the designs, but now that I have someone here in the States who I can bounce my creative ideas off of, I can be there physically to see what's all that's going on as far as my products. Are they being produced in an ethical way that I want them to be produced? Is it excellent? Most importantly, is it excellence? And so I'm very excited about that. And yeah, I'm about to disrupt the industry, as people have been telling me I've been doing, but in a way that is going to really impact lives.
Yes. Make sure you guys follow, support, love, support, share, all of that good stuff. And I appreciate you for coming. I'm glad we got a chance to do this.
Yeah, right.
Like and this, like you said, the sky is the limit. So guess what, guys? You'll probably see him back when the new collection releases, when he does something else amazing. So thank you for joining us today on BLK Talk.
Absolutely, man.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you guys for tuning in to another episode. Make sure you guys subscribe, hit the notification bell, share, like, comment, all of that good stuff. And we'll be back with another episode of BLK Talk very soon. Thank you.